You act like it's a good thing for black people to be selling drugs in our community. It is not. So when you go to jail for selling drugs, in my opinion, and I think the opinion of anybody that's rational, that is a benefit to the black community. I don't think you know what you're talking about.
I don't think you know
The
what you're
dissent
talking
decree, which was established, there was no findings of Donald Trump being a racist. You cannot find a court document that says that Donald Trump officially discriminated against anybody.
He literally marked.
What's your next one?
He literally marked black applicants.
What's your next one? If you're carrying a balance on your credit cards, that debt is costing you money every single day you wait to pay. And a lot of people are working hard, making payments, juggling credit cards, personal loans, collections, medical bills, and still feel like they're not getting ahead. Minimum payments are not designed to get you out of debt. They're designed to keep you stuck. That's why you need to check out PDS Debt. PDS Debt has customized options for anyone struggling with credit card debt, personal loans, collections, or medical bills. And listen to this. PDS Debt clients from the Officer Tatum audience are saving an average of $20,704. PDS Debt can help you stop juggling multiple payments and get one lower monthly payment. No minimum credit score required. Checking your options is fast, free, and it won't impact your credit. And savings start the day you complete the 30-second assessment. PDS Debt uses AI and data to go beyond the numbers and personalize saving solutions for you. They're top rated with thousands of 5-star reviews and a A+ rating with the Better Business Bureau. Get your free 30-second personalized assessment today at pdsdebt.com/Tatum. That's pdsdebt.com/Tatum. My first surrounded claim is Trump and Republicans are better for the black community than Democrats.
If you'd like to be the first debater, get to that chair in 3, 2, 1.
Naima, nice to meet you.
Naima,
Yeah.
nice to meet you as well.
Before I do my rebuttal, I would just like to know why you think that.
Well, there's a myriad of reasons. I think that conservative policies are more beneficial to the black community. It's more beneficial to America, which black people are part of America. And I think that policies like limiting immigration or illegal immigration, getting illegal immigrants out of this country, lowering taxes, all benefit black people as a whole. Religious freedom, you name it, every single policy that I can think about that Republicans have implemented, that they stand for, the values they stand for are all better off for black people than Democrats could ever dream of.
How have you okay. First of all, religious freedom is not just a Republican policy. I just want
the
that's just in
Republicans
the
are far
Constitution.
more believe in the freedom of religion than Democrats could ever dream of.
I don't want to harp on that.
Democrats
That's in the
wanna remove
Constitution. That's just not
religion
true.
from
But
every single aspect of life. No.
But I just want to focus on which one of Trump's policies specifically has been designed to help the black community.
Well, First Step Act has been designed to reverse the effects of over-policing from the past.
He has done that.
The First Step Act, yes, it was.
Okay.
To allow for people who were incarcerated with sentencing for drug dealing
Right.
and less violent crimes for them to have some relief. My uncle got out on the First Step Act.
Okay.
Urban revitalization,
Yeah.
injecting money into these inner city communities. Permanent funding for HBCUs, which Barack Obama never did. Donald Trump implemented.
Okay.
I mean, I can go down the list.
Yeah,
and
so
and I think that
we-
lowering taxes and all the other benefits that Americans get
Yeah.
is also beneficial to black
So
people.
it's funny because I've watched some of your videos, I've heard these talking points before, and I actually looked into all of these, and there's not a ton of quantitative impact on how those have actually affected just the black community. But let's talk about the Republican Party and Trump and his policies as a whole. Do you think that Trump reposting a video in which one of his supporters screams white power was beneficial to the black community?
I'm not familiar with some video that he posted.
Well, I mean, you should be, though.
Let's talk about Democrat policy.
You should be.
Let's
though.
talk about Democrat
no,
policy.
See,
What
no.
Democrat
Now you're
policy?
obfuscating. You are the one who has
it
the burden.
says
No,
right
I'm
here.
sorry. I do not want to be interrupted.
It says right here
I do not want to be
that
interrupted.
Trump and
You
Republicans
are,
are better than the Democrat
yes, exactly.
policy.
So the burden of proof is on
it's not.
you.
Not in a
yes.
trial.
No, this is how a debate works. You've made a claim that you have to substantiate, and you have yet to do that.
I am wrong. So how are you correct in that Democrat policies are better than Republican
Well,
policies?
actually, do you want to know my personal
with it.
belief is that the Democrats are fundamentally kind of apathetic to the needs of black people, while Republicans are openly antagonizing the black community.
Give me an example.
So, I mean, so
what
an
policy
example.
position is negative towards black people that Republicans implement?
Trump this year intentionally got rid of the disparate impact analysis. So what the disparate impact analysis does is that it analyzes laws that were made neutrally, policies that were intended to be neutral, to make sure that there were not any racial disparities as an effect of that policy, right? Accidentally. So Trump has removed the protection for the disparate impact analysis. So we don't know if the policies that we're enacting are disproportionately hurting the Black community or not.
That doesn't make any sense. Any policy.
It doesn't make any sense. I agree.
No, what
it's a
you're
bad
saying
idea.
does not make any sense because the policies that are implemented,
yes,
the majority of the ones that are in Congress are agreed upon by the House and the Senate.
Right.
Democrats and Republicans.
Yes.
And so with that being said, there's Black people represented. There's
yes.
all kind of people
that's
represented in creating our laws and
I know,
policies.
But that's the point.
So what are you saying that they're not considering whether or not it has a desperate effect on the Black community?
So here's the thing. When you create a policy, obviously you are creating it in good faith. But we do not know always how that policy is going to affect the population.
Give me an example of a policy.
Can I finish talking?
Give me an example of a policy.
But I'm trying to explain to you.
I'm running out of time.
So the point of the disparate analysis report is to check to make sure that the laws that we implement in good faith don't end up hurting the Black community by accident. Why would you get rid of that?
Why do you think he got rid of it, according to you?
Because he's racist.
To say that Donald Trump is racist is the craziest thing I've heard.
Donald Trump. God.
Have you ever met Donald Trump personally?
No.
You don't know him?
No. So
Why
you've
would you
met
say,
Donald Trump.
I've met Donald Trump several times.
So you're basing whether or not he's racist just
you don't
on
have
your
any evidence. You're saying because he allegedly got rid of some desperate impact analysis that somehow that has something to do with race and it only affects Black people.
But your evidence is anecdotal. Oh, Trump was nice to me one time, therefore he's not a racist.
I have no evidence to believe that Trump is a racist.
Because you are
Where's the evidence that Trump is a
racist? Okay, I'll give you more evidence.
Give me
In
evidence.
1973, his company was sued for violating the Fair Housing Act by openly discriminating against Black renters.
What was the findings of that?
He was actually forced to settle.
He was forced to settle?
Yes, he was forced to settle. No, he had to settle.
There was no finding of fault.
Why would someone settle if they were not guilty?
You can make up
Why would someone settle if he wasn't doing it?
Was there a determination in court that he was at fault?
He was also forced to...
No. Was there a determination in court that he was at fault?
He settled, so they didn't have a determination in court. He got out of it by settling, which is what you do when you are guilty, but you don't want to go to court.
That's not the way the system works.
That is exactly what the point of settling is. Yes, you settle out. Yes.
He had a dissent decree, which they agreed that he would implement certain things in his organization. There was no fault granted. They did not prove.
What were the things that he had to implement in his company?
Recruiting. It was a form of it was that
I think you're thinking about a different lawsuit against the Trump administration.
He had to make sure that they have job applications available to minorities.
No, this wasn't about jobs. This was about the Trump Corporation, the real estate. Yes, they violated the Fair Housing Act because...
maybe we're talking about something different.
Well, there were 2 times he was sued for racism.
I only know of one time.
Yeah, well, you should learn about the other one because it was bad too. Yes.
I don't think you know what you're talking about.
I don't think you know
what you're talking about. The dissent decree, which was established, there was no findings of Donald Trump being a racist. And his organization has been without fault.
No, that was...
You cannot find a court document that says that Donald Trump officially discriminated against anybody.
He literally marked...
What's your next one?
He literally marked Black applicants...
What's your next one? What's your next example of Trump being a racist?
When he reposted the Obamas as monkeys?
Now, he did not... He already said... He already said that he did not post that. It was somebody on his staff, and the post wasn't even about that. That was a real.
It was on his account.
And then when it came out, he denounced it. He said it was wrong.
It was on his account already.
One of the staffers posted it.
Why would one of his staffers even have that? Even if it wasn't him,
you're making the post sound like the post was
it?
about that. It was a meme created by somebody else. And
Are you really defending depicting Black people as monkeys? Like, that's crazy.
And Hillary Clinton.
That's crazy.
And Hillary Clinton was a pig. And it was all kind of people depicted as animals. It wasn't just about Barack Obama. Did Donald Trump make the video?
Has any other president done that
Did Donald Trump make the video?
Has any other president done that ever?
You're blaming him. Did Donald Trump make the video?
I don't know if he made it, but
no,
it doesn't
he did
matter.
Not.
It's about what he posts.
Did he denounce what that represented?
If I posted something that said, kill all of X people, that's what I believe, right?
It's not true.
Even if I didn't type it out
that's not true.
Put it in Canva and then post it, it's still what I believe.
If somebody posted some offensive on your account and you denounce it, is that a fair statement to say you don't believe in that?
No, I don't think that's true. I would like to be held accountable.
He said he didn't believe it.
If I hired someone to post on my behalf and they posted racist statements,
and you said
that would be on me.
And you took it down.
No.
And you told them,
I'm sorry.
and you said to the world, you don't believe that to be true.
Officer Tatum, we have to pause here. All right, you have been voted out by the majority. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you. My next surrounding claim is that black people hurt black people more than any other group.
Back again. Okay, so thank you for clarifying the prompt for us, because I was a little confused reading it, because white people hurt white people around the same rates. But I guess my question is like, starting when and how are you quantifying harm?
Okay, that's a great question. I think that we can go all the way back to the beginning if you want to in slavery, when the slave trade was proliferated.
Okay.
Black people enslaved each other.
Where?
In Africa. Black people enslaved other blacks in Africa and sold them all over the world. That, to me, that's an incredible harm of black people inflicting on other blacks and perpetuated across the world. Then you have slavery now perpetuated in South America. You have it in the United States of America. That is initial harm. Okay. I would argue that the point in time of slavery in America as we know it, I believe that white people hurt black people more than black people did.
Yes.
Now we go post-slavery.
Okay.
I believe that black people began to take the torch and destroy themselves or destroy other blacks more than any other group in America.
Okay, so let's start post-slavery. I'm gonna ignore the thing about black people selling black people in Africa.
Is that not true?
Well, do you know how many black people were sold as slaves to each other in Africa?
Well, millions were sold in the slave trade around the world.
Are you talking about the transatlantic slave trade or before the transatlantic slave trade?
Transatlantic slave trade.
Okay, yeah, but that was by white people, again.
What you mean it was by white people? I'm saying that black people enslaved other blacks and sold them to white people. I think
they were primarily kidnapped by the Portuguese.
There was not primary kidnapping. It was an actual legal slave trade that existed.
Yes,
I mean, millions of transactions between Africans.
The legal slave trade that existed before the transatlantic slave trade was mainly based on when a tribe conquered another tribe, they were prisoners
still
of
enslaved.
War, which is still enslaved, but it's different from the transatlantic slave trade when we're talking about black people hurting black people versus white people hurting black people, right? But I wanted to go focus on your claim about
post-slavery.
Post-slavery, yes. So the primary, I guess, what do you think black people were doing post-slavery?
Well, I think there's a period of time where there was an explosion of black excellence.
Yes, Reconstruction.
After slavery was abolished.
Right.
We have black people fighting in the military, black people owning their own companies,
yes,
building wealth. We have Black Wall Street.
Okay.
We have, you go on, so on and so forth.
Right.
And I believe that as black people begin to support Marxist theology, Martin Luther King and others put us in a path where we rely on the government more than our own resilience. Okay. And you cannot tell me that that's not true.
So let's pause, because we just skipped like a good 30 years of history. We just skipped like 3 decades of history.
I'm giving you a summation from the 30s to the 60s.
Okay, yeah, so we did Reconstruction, and Reconstruction was ended, right? Because the South took back, at the time we had Northerners in the South who were running the South so that the Union could stay together. Once the North left the South, Reconstruction ends, and that's when we see black people start to decline. It wasn't Karl Marx. Karl Marx didn't come in and say...
I said Marxist theology. I didn't say Karl Marx.
It wasn't Marxist theology. I mean, we're just ignoring the history of sharecropping. That's ignoring the history of Jim Crow, right? You think that Karl Marx was worse for the black community than Jim Crow segregation?
Let me argue this point. Capitalism has rescued and made successful so many people of different backgrounds and demographics. That's why America is so great. What I'm saying is that black people being resilient, operating through capitalism, and believing in themselves and being self-sustainable was the best path for blacks, and they were successful in that. When they begin to rely on the government, begin to rely on handouts, begin to listen to foolish things that people like Martin Luther King said, it caused us to be more dependent on the government, less dependent on ourselves, and now you see decline in multifaceted areas.
Okay,
consistent, let me say, I'm gonna let you speak, I'm gonna let you speak. Okay. But what I'm saying is that when you look at other groups, minority groups, they did not fall for that. You look at the Jewish population, look at immigrants that came over here, they were self-sustainable, they worked within their community, they built wealth, generational wealth amongst each other. They did not farm out their existence to the government.
Can I speak now, please? Thank you. So the other immigrant groups that you're talking about, first of all, were not subject to Jim Crow segregation laws. But do you? I just want you to answer.
Jews were subject to Jim Crow laws.
I just want you to answer this question, yes or no. Okay. Do you think that Karl Marx hurt the black community and his ideology hurt the black community more than Jim Crow segregation?
I have to think that through. Jim Crow segregation.
What is there to think about?
Because you're
By the
acting.
way, Karl Marx is white, so
listen,
that would still be a white person in the black community. Just saying.
But then Martin Luther King embraced his theology.
Okay, but so,
which is a black man leading the black community off a cliff. Now let me just say this.
So you think
I'm
that, wait,
saying
so
that every black person was not subject.
question.
Every black person was not subject to Jim Crow laws. Every black person did not live in the South. There was a lot of successful black people during that time period. I mean, I will give you an example.
The Harlem Renaissance, of course.
I'm gonna give you an example of black people
Northerners.
who were incredibly successful through what? Capitalism. We see Madam C.J. Walker, the first female millionaire out of any race, very successful in the late 1800s, late 1800s,
Okay,
early
but that's
1900s.
one person.
That's not just one.
That is
we have
one
we have a
person.
tremendous amount of success.
My friend, it feels
George
like you're
Washington
forgetting-
Carver. We have.
I'd let you talk for a long time.
okay.
I would like my turn to speak. I feel like we're completely jumping over history. We go from slavery to Martin Luther King, then all the way back. We ignore the history of sharecropping, right? We've completely glossed over sharecropping. We've completely glossed over Jim Crow laws and how much wealth was stolen from the black community. We've completely glossed over the Tulsa race riots, and when black people did succeed under capitalism, those communities were destroyed. We've completely glossed over eminent domain and how much of the black community was taken, like literal black.
Let's talk about.
Like what about Seneca Village?
Let's talk
what
about
any
Black
of these
Wall Street.
communities?
Let's talk about Black Wall Street. Are we on the same page of what happened in the Tulsa riots?
Well,
Tulsa race war?
It depends. What do you think happened?
Well, I know what happened. There was a conflict between black and white people. There was a fight between the two. White people got the best of black people in Tulsa.
Then no, we are not on the same page.
Well,
no.
let me finish and you tell me where I'm wrong. In that fight, there was a lot of black businesses destroyed in Tulsa, Oklahoma. They rebuilt, I don't know, maybe 3 or 4 years later, and they begin to continue to succeed. Is that not factual?
No.
What's the truth? What happened then?
I mean, the truth is that a community of successful black people who were succeeding under capitalism were directly targeted because
They were not
of
directly
that
targeted. It was a
success.
conflict.
Yes.
It was a conflict between a black man, I believe it was a black man.
It started
and
when a
white.
black man was accused of lynching,
No,
or not
it
lynching,
was
was
not
accused
lynching.
of raping a woman. And then because of that, there was this
The
anger and a mob started.
Inappropriate behavior with a woman. There was a conflict that occurred. The first shots rang out from black people, shooting and killing several white people. And
So
then,
how many black people were killed in total?
Oh, I don't know how many black people were killed in total. I just know black people fired
Well,
the first
I do.
shot.
Can I tell you?
Well,
It was
okay.
300.
How many white people were killed?
Like a low
How many white people were
estimate.
killed?
Not as many, because it was a riot against
Because what
the
happened
black
was
community.
white people came up into Tulsa, Oklahoma. It became a
Can I ask you a
violent
question?
confrontation, and white people overran the black people in that
Can
confrontation.
I ask you, because it kind of feels like you're defending the race rioters.
I'm
a
not
little bit.
defending any race riots. I'm saying
It
it's
does.
a conflict that happened.
Can
You're
you
saying
acknowledge
that
that
it's targeted.
this is one example in
you're
which white
saying-
people hurt black people
you're
unjustly?
You're saying.
Can you just say this is one?
What you're trying to say is that black people are doing their own thing, and a bunch of white people just came up and destroyed all their property just because.
Yes!
That wasn't what happened.
That
It was a
wasn't what-
conflict.
So,
it was a
okay.
conflict that occurred that caused that to happen.
But you know the KKK existed, right?
They did.
Yes,
In
white
the South.
supremacy existed, and that was in
In
the
the
South. Where's
South.
Oklahoma?
I didn't say that white supremacy don't exist. We're not arguing
Yes,
that.
that was the point, though.
I'm not arguing that the Ku Klux Klan didn't have a negative effect in the black community. We're not arguing that.
But that's what we are arguing. The whole point of this prompt is that black people hurt the black community more than white people.
So,
and these are some examples
okay.
of white people hurting the black community. And
Let's-
every time I give you one, you say no.
Let's give
that
an
didn't happen.
example of some things that are ailments in the black community that I think that we can agree on.
Okay.
The single parent household situation with
Right.
young black men born out of, young black men born and women are born to parents who are not married.
Okay, guys, please don't raise the flags on me. I have to make one point, and then I'll get
Okay.
up, okay? So, to the single parent house, I think that's a great example, right? Because I think we can all agree we want black families to stay together. What is the leading cause of the separation of black families?
I think it's a degradation of values in the black community.
Would you say that the criminalization, black men disproportionately going to jail more, has an effect on the
And
separation of the black households?
I would agree to that, but I would
Yes.
also say that is because of the choices and decisions that these young black men are making.
Perfect, thank you. I was hoping you would say that. So,
Is that not true? You don't go to
well,
jail.
hold on,
you
hold
go
on,
to jail for
pause.
selling drugs.
Okay, you go to
okay?
jail for selling drugs. Can I read you a quote from Nixon's domestic policy chief, John Ehrlichman? This is at the start of the war on drugs, which we know is what led to a lot of mass incarceration of the black community, a significant increase in black men imprisoned and incarcerated for drug possession and selling. We knew we couldn't make it illegal to be either against the Vietnam War or black, but by getting the public to associate the hippies with marijuana and blacks with heroin, and then criminalizing both heavily, we could disrupt those communities.
I'm not familiar with that quote.
Oh, really?
But
Shocking.
I can go and read it later, but that's still
You
not
should
getting,
really
it's
read it
not-
later.
That's not getting to the point of saying that people are incarcerated because decisions that they made to commit crimes. Is that not true?
Well, yes, that's
The
how
reason that
criminal
none of
justice-
us, the reason that
do
none
you
of us,
want to respond to
the reason
what
that
he
none
just
of us,
said?
the reason that none of us are selling dope, why? Because we don't want to go to prison. We value our lives. If you are going to sell drugs and you're going to kill people and you're going to commit robbery, you're going to go to jail.
Yes,
you
yes.
can't blame all of that on
you-
the war on crime or whatever the case
But
may
the
be.
war on crime was specifically to get
No,
black men to go to jail.
It is nothing wrong.
They literally
It is
admitted
nothing wrong with imposing laws that help our community. You act
How
like,
does that help
let me,
our
Let me
community?
explain. You act like it's a good thing for black people to be selling drugs in our community. It is not. So when you go to jail for selling drugs, in my opinion, and I think the opinion of anybody that's rational, that is a benefit to the black community
Diva,
by
in
getting
this quote, he
drug dealers,
literally says-
criminals off the street.
Friend.
And our communities to be able to thrive, our property value to be able to go up. These people need to go to jail.
Dude,
That's not a negative.
Okay, I hear you, thank you. But literally, the domestic policy chief is saying we could disrupt those communities. He is openly admitting. No, I let you talk a lot. I need you to let me
need you to
speak.
clarify this.
No.
Disrupt these communities in what way? What is he saying, disrupt the communities?
By
what
heavily
is the end goal?
criminalizing
To what end?
to hurt black people.
So
All
it
right,
hurt
I'm gonna
black
pause
people to
here.
get criminals off the street.
Officer
No,
Tatum, we
he's
have to pause here. You
intentionally
guys have
disrupting
gone
the black
over.
community.
So thank you both so much.